Hello, and welcome to another episode of Mindset Monday. Today is July 15th, 2024. Man, I know you're saying, where has the month gone? 15 days already, halfway through the month. But I hope you're having a spectacular Monday, and I hope you had a wonderful weekend. Today, we are still on the topic for the month prepare for your wealth. Prepare for your wealth. And as we discussed in previous weeks about wealth, wealth begins from the mind. And if the mind is not right, then nothing else can fall in place. Once the mind is right, then things will fall in synergy, things will fall in place. Today, we are continuing our topic prepare for wealth. And when you prepare for wealth, what is it do you do? Where do you start? What are the sequence or is there sequence? Are there sequence of steps? What do we do when we prepare for wealth? Today is another exciting time when we will have a special guest, Tanya Brockette, as we discuss questions, how we prepare for wealth, different questions. And as usual, you can chime in and share your views also, or ask questions, and we'll be happy to answer them. If we can't answer them immediately, we will be happy to get the answers for you, as the case may be. But it is such a wonderful day, and I am just going to look at what my viewers are saying before our special guest comes. We have Alkima said, I am Helen Helal Mola from Bangladesh. Welcome Bangladesh in the house. We have Sumitra Mondal said, welcome to live. It's great to have you all as you share in this information session, as you give your input also, because I know we have able bodied viewers who are well versed in different areas, different skill set, in different, they are equipped in different areas, so they can also give input. But as we travel on in July, the 15th day of July, what have you accomplished so far? What have you gained so far in our Prepare for Wealth Mindset Month? Or are you still stuck after we have left June? Let me know. Just remember that even if you're standing still, life is still taking place. Life is still moving. So just make a plan. And if even if you're moving just a little bit on the needle, get up, move, do something. Even if you make half a step, do something. You will be happy you do, because life happens whether or not we are moving. In our deliberation weeks, 2 weeks, we were talking about how to prepare. I remember the first week, Serenia spoke about as a farmer, you prepare for the eventualities. You take care of what needs to be taken care of. Prepare the buckets if you're a farmer to get the water. Prepare for the soil to make sure that the vegetables, the fruits, whatever vegetation you are preparing for to harvest, make sure that the soil is fully ready. Then, previous week, Jennifer spoke about how to harness the wealth that we have, how to harness the wealth that we have acquired, and how we can create generational wealth for our legacy. So we are stacking things so that you can have, or we, because it applies to me also, we have information on how to do what we do and how to achieve, how to stay in the driver's seat. We also spoke about the right relationships. First, relationship with God, who is the source of our existence, and then relationship with our family, relationship with our friends, relationship with our co-workers, relationship with our boss, building strong relationships so we can have wholesome life. We can have relationship is one of the attributes of wealth also, because without strong relationships, we are unable to foster growth. So let me hear what have you acquired since for the last 2 weeks in this month? What have you learned? What are some of the insights you have? Share them with us so we can see where you're at and how helpful this has been to you. And also what you can share so it can help us also. Because it's not a monologue, it's a dialogue. I learn, you learn, and together we can complement each other. As we always say, we are here to operate in an era of gifting, each of us. So, as we operate in our specific area of gifting, we are complementing another. Because I, as an accountant, I'm unable to fix my sink, fix the tap if the tap is stopped. I need a licensed plumber. A plumber doesn't know accounting. The plumber would need Miriam, a tax accountant, or to take care of his day to day bookkeeping. So we are all created to operate in an era of gifting. And once we find that gifting, once we find that area, might I tell you, we'll be so comfortable. We'll operate no matter how strenuous the work is. Once we are in our niche, once we are operating in our area of gifting, it will seem as if it's a playbook. It just seems as if, oh, it's just another thing. So while we are looking for that area of gifting, while we are looking for where we're gifted, let's acquire the wisdom and knowledge that we need in order to sustain life, in order to be a well rounded person, in order to. One moment, there's a little technical challenge, so let me see if I can get my guest because I'm really looking forward to having her. Just give me 1 second. Oh, she is right here. I am so excited. Look at that beautiful smile. Hi, Tanya.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear. It is so exciting to have you with us today. And Tanya Brockett. This wonderful lady that I've met months ago. She is such an awesome person, and
I disappeared.
she disappeared on me. But here she goes now.
Wow.
Tanya, it's a pleasure to have you on Mindset Monday as we look at this topic, prepare for your wealth. And viewers, if I might indulge you just to share a little bit about who is Tanya.
Mm.
And permit me to read because I want to make sure that I say exactly who she is, just in a nutshell. So, Tanya Brockett, MBA, is an award winning published expert, producer, and strategist who skillfully guides author entrepreneurs from baffled to bestseller and obscurity to influence in books and films. And she is doing this over 2 decades. Tanya has coached hundreds of authors and entrepreneurs, trained thousands in publishing and business, and written millions of pages and prose. She taught book publishing and entrepreneurship at her alma mater, the University of Virginia. She recently co authored the number one bestseller, Basic Financial Literacy. What you didn't learn in school, and is the managing editor of Best Weather magazine, a financial and lifestyle magazine for entrepreneurs. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Tanya Brockett. And Tanya, just share a little bit more, a little bit of yourself before we delve into the questions that we have this evening. Over to you.
Happy to. Thank you so much for having me here. I really appreciate being able to share with you um, all the wonderful things we're going to talk about today. So, I will share that I'm also a very proud mother of three brilliant and talented and beautiful daughters. And most people who end up having to deal with me more than a minute tend to hear some story or two about them because they are so dear to me. And my husband is a girl dad that, helped me to raise these fabulous women. And we try to keep a positive attitude here in this house. And that finds its way into my work with my customers and clients. And it also finds its way into my books and everything else. Because one of the first chapters in basic financial literacy deals with having the mindset that allows you to be successful in whatever you choose, but specifically in this case, financially and with matters of wealth. So I'm also, I've been a teacher of entrepreneurship. I have been a teacher of book publishing classes. I love seeing the light bulb go off when people are finally catching on to a concept that they can do something with. And so you'll find that I love to talk about publishing. I love to talk about finance. I love to talk about my books. I love to talk about my family. So here I am.
Here is Tanya as we share in this lovely space. And while I was waiting to see that beautiful smile just pop out, I was sharing with the audience, just summarizing as what we have done over the last couple of weeks, and the the contribution that the viewers gave, shared, and how beneficial the program is. Now, some of my viewers, they don't leave comments on YouTube, but after the show, they would call and they would say, Miriam, this was very helpful. I got this nugget, that nugget, and I will be applying. So last week, one of our guests, Dr. Bartley, she shared one thing that she garnered from one of the episodes, and she put it in practice. She applied it. She opened a high yield savings account. So that's how we learn. We do not learn or acquire knowledge unless we apply what is being taught. So we can get all sort of information, but until we apply, until we allow it to sink in, that's when wealth is created, because wealth begins from the mind. So we will start with the questions, unless you have any contributions where that's concerned before we go to the questions.
No, I just totally agree. And as a matter of fact, one of the opening quote in our book says that if you let your learning lead to knowledge, you become a fool. If you let your learning lead to action, you become wealthy. It's a Tony Robbins quote. So it's quite fitting.
Let your learning lead to action, and you will be
Wealthy.
wealthy. Okay, so one of my first questions is, how important is financial education in debunking the myths associated with wealth and riches?
Well, one of the things that I truly believe, and one of the reasons for this book, for me and my co author, Michael Garrison, is that if you don't know what the options are out there for you, if you have no concept of financial principles and financial literacy, then you are not likely to be able to be successful financially. Without the concepts, without the background, without knowing what your options are, how can you choose the right thing? Right? So, one of the things that I believe is that if you have the financial education, you have an idea of how it works, then you have a greater chance of being able to discern opportunities, to see opportunities when they arise in the first place, and then to take action on them appropriately. Without that, it's not as meaningful.
Powerful. You see, viewers, I know you're noticing the common thread that's been weaved throughout all of these episodes. There has to be a plan of action, and there has to be consistent steps in order to get that wealth going. So, as we know, it starts from the mind, and then it trickles down with practical application, action steps.
Mhm.
Awesome. Thank you. Uh, what steps can someone take to shift their focus from achieving riches to build lasting wealth? Because we know wealth and riches, they're two separate things. Wealth, you acquire but but wealth far supersedes riches. So what steps can someone take to shift their focus from achieving riches to building lasting wealth?
Well, one thing is to remember that wealth, to understand that wealth really is more than just dollars and cents, right? So, wealth is much more than money. Wealth is abundance. Wealth is um, that abundance in health, family, relationships, financially. So, that it goes far beyond riches in terms of the dollars and the ka-ching, right? One of the ways that we gain riches best is by serving. When we serve with our talents, with our gifts, with our knowledge, with our skills and abilities, then we give something of value to others that they can return to us. They can share that value with us. Now, that value could be monetary, it could be dollars and cents, but it could also just be the gift of, I don't know. It could be sharing something that they have that we don't, that we would really love to have in our possession that has nothing to do with dollars or money. It could just be, I would love to have the opportunity to spend a vacation in Martha's Vineyard. And you happen to have a week available in your home that you could offer that. So, I mean, there's just no telling. When you give, you can receive, and it doesn't have to be in like kind all the time. So, our wealth can come in a variety of ways. It can come in a wealth of ways that doesn't mean just dollars and cents. So, one thing that you can do is remember that sometimes material goods may be considered an asset, but they may not have long lasting value. So, just the acquisition of things, trying to look rich, the big, hot, fancy car, the giant house, the blingity bling, whatever it is, doesn't mean that you're wealthy. It means that you have spent some money or that you owe money because you might not even have responded to a task, right? So those kinds of things don't necessarily grow your value. And you can't take those things with you, right? Yeah, sure, maybe you could be buried in your car, but that would take a really big plot. And I don't think anybody really wants to do that for you. So you don't want to take it with you. You want to find a way to give that value, one, while you're living, but two, then leave a legacy that matters. And that is not just in greenbacks or cash. Leaving a legacy means you contributed to the world in a way that makes the world wealthy in knowledge and information and um, in your gifts that you gave, not necessarily in the money.
Leaving a legacy that matters. That's a salient point. So, riches, t- tangible or intangible, because intangible can be stocks and bonds, stuff like that. But wealth, it far surpasses the tangibility of riches. And as you rightly said, leaving leaving a legacy. So after years that Miriam is gone, let me think about someone that has gone to rest. Miles Monroe, that's one of my icons. And to this day, many of his sayings, a matter of fact, if you look on social media, if you look on Barnes and Noble and in Amazon, if you check, there are so many books that is there about Miles Monroe, and everything that he has written ages ago, they are still relevant today. So creating that wealth that will outlast you. One of his favorite quotes or statement, I want to die empty. Might I say he died empty because there are so many things that he has written. There are so many books. There are so many sermons that is affecting the lives of so many people, creating that legacy that will outlast, building that wealth. Thank you so much, Tanya. So,
Absolutely.
sorry, go ahead.
No, you're right. I mean, it's so wonderful. One of the things that I really wanted to be able to do at some point in my life was go to Hawaii, be on Maui, and bump into Dr. Wayne Dyer because I loved his book, Wishes Fulfilled. But now that Dr. Dyer has passed on, that's, not something I can do. However, just as you said with Dr. Monroe, you can have his words that last and linger and live within the words of his books, YouTube videos, right? We can give something of value that people can take with them and keep with them and read and re-watch over and over and over again. And that has much, much more value than a few dollars we could have left behind.
A crazy thought just come to mind. what wealth do I have to offer? What wealth can I spread? And the crazy thing is, I love to skip. I love to dance. Of course, my viewers know that I'm not the best dancer. I trip over my own feet, my own foot, but I love to dance, and people will know that Miriam loves to skip, love to dance. So if that's all the legacy I have to leave, that's what I'm gonna do, and I am desiring to do it to the best of my ability, so it can bring joy to someone. It can bring a smile. Because, can I tell you, wealth, a smile can be part of the wealth that we have to give. As you rightly said, wealth is not just tangible, but a smile. Someone just said, Miriam, smile. There's a lady that just passed me, and I was feeling so crappy. And just her winning smile just brought life. So I think that's part of my wealth. That's part of my legacy. As my YouTube channel name, MCE Legacy. That's a part of my legacy. So guess what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna get a face and a nice smile and just paste it there so people can enjoy what they see. That's just the crazy little part of me that I just wanted to share. The smile.
That is so good. And you never know how important that smile is to someone. You never know that that could be that one thing that makes people, somebody who could have been upset, and then they see you walking by smiling, and they're like, huh, that could be that one little spark that makes them lift the corners of their mouth too, right? And so, yes, that's beautiful. That wealth that you can leave behind, that joy, that exuberance that comes from someone loving how to dance. Enjoy it and leave that for us, for so that we can enjoy it too. So yes, that is wealth. That is a legacy you can leave. I think that's so much more valuable than money a lot of times.
Most definitely. Before you delve back in the book, I'm going to check with my YouTube viewers to see if they have any questions or any contributions to they make. Just let me see. Nancy said, "Hello, Queen Miriam." So that's about it for now. But let's go back to the questions. This is so powerful. Leaving a smile as a legacy. Oh, Elette McNeil said, serving is a wonderful thing to do. Yes, Mommy Mac. And might I say, this lady is a powerful server in both the kingdom of God and serving humanity on a whole.
Mm.
And Anne Marie Waller, which is Mommy Mac's daughter, she's also a server, a powerful, wonderful lady. She said, most definitely, because I'm one of the love to see. Oh, she loved to see me smile. She always greet you with a wide, big, wide smile. She said, big up, Miriam.
That's right. You know, I have to tell you a really quick story. There was
Uh-huh.
a time when I was doing an internship in Cleveland, and I lived in a high rise that was just a block away from where I was working, but it had security guards because it was also a shopping mall and everything else. So when you came down the elevator, you then met up with the security guard, and then you went on out and into the rest of the building. Well, every morning when I would come down, before that door opened up, I would put on an open face. That is what communications expert Arch Lesberg taught us, to have an open face. When you open your eyebrows and you open your face, it makes your voice warmer, and it makes you more open to receive some of the joy that other people want to see. And so I would open my face before I got out of the elevator, and the security guard started saying, "Good morning, sunshine," because I would just be there willing to open my face and smile. And most people are just going to work, face down, eyebrows across, their face is closed. If you open your face, it just opens up the warmth in your voice and makes it more receiving for others. So wonderful to see people positively impacted with the smile. It matters.
That's a good one. You say open your face, so you will lift your eyebrows.
Lift your eyebrows. It takes a little work, and sometimes you feel like I'm really looking stupid here. The reality is, if you just open your face a little bit, it just warms you right on up. Even if you're on the phone, I'll tell you what, practice this. Even if you're on the phone, let's say you're a receptionist or something, you answer the phone. Hello. Nobody's really going to be anxious to hear that, right? Whereas if you pick up the phone and you open your face first, your voice takes on a higher tone. Hello. And you sound more cheerful, more welcoming, more engaging. So opening your face makes a difference, whether you can be seen or not.
Awesome. As we talk about wealth, as we're talking about wealth and smile, I remember when I was working at Courts Jamaica Limited. It's a furniture store. It's now Unicomer in the Caribbean. So one of the trainers, Dale Carnegie, they know Courts normally hire the best trainers. And I
Mm-hmm.
remember one of the trainers from Dale Carnegie School, they reminded us that when you pick up the phone, once the phone rings, when you pick up that phone, a smile should be on your face. And the first time I heard that, and then I said, but how are they going to see that I'm smiling? The trainer said, your manner comes across. And so that's wealth. Someone is giving you a piece of their wealth, a piece of their real estate, if you might call it that. The big smile. So take it on. Give it to the world. The little song that we always sing in Sunday school. I'm a Christian, and I know you are too. The little song we always sing in Sunday school, smile a while and give your face a rest. So when we smile, it makes the world smile. A matter of fact, it is easier for someone who is grumpy to lighten up with a smile than for them to reciprocate another dull person. I know we all go through stuff. We're all going through stuff. And as life happens, we need to find a way, or we are able to find a way to rise above the challenges, even with a smile. If something is happening in your life now that you cannot smile because of what is happening now, maybe you could just think about something good that happened before and see if you can, you know, revive a smile just as a placeholder for that time. That's wealth too, because you build wealth, you put money in an account. So let's say we put a smile back there, and
Mm-hmm.
then we're able to pull from that smile. We remember we're creating wealth. So we're talking about a smile, powerful smile. So at the moment, you may not be able to find something to smile about what is happening immediately. But let's go and pull something from that bank account.
Right.
Pull something from that smile bank account.
Mm-hmm.
That's wealth. So let me go back and pull something from my bank account, and I can smile in as much as, I'm crying. But there is something that I can pull from that account that brings a little smile on the face.
Mm-hmm. That's right. And somebody else has made a comment about that, having a smiling face. So that,
Marie said, "That's a new one, Queen Tanya. We sometimes open our face, but not in that manner. So that's a new smiling face." She said, "Wow."
yeah.
You know, Queen Miriam is going to take on that one.
Good. You've already got it in your bank account. You can pull it out and use it anytime you want to. That's
Use
what's
it
in here.
anytime you want to. So I want to intrigue you in the book. So as you alluded to the sections of the book, why don't you jump to it now and just give us a little bit of, because this is in line with prepare for your wealth. Preparation is gaining knowledge, taking information and applying the information so it can become a part of you. Because without you applying, it is not yours. Knowledge, we always hear knowledge is power, but it's half truth. Applied knowledge is power. So when you apply that knowledge, that's when your life is transformed, whether it's by pulling the smile account or whether it's by pulling literal money from the account, or whether it's taking care of the family, making sure that money is there to send the child to school, or if you are investing in yourself, making sure that finances are there to invest in your well being. Because, as you know, we're creating wealth. So until the day we die, we are still in the school to learn. Amen.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. And you reminded me of something um, as you were talking there about investing in yourself. When you recognize that you are your own best asset, and when you have a valuable asset, you want to invest in it so that it has longevity, so that it can provide a great return on that investment. And that is us. We are our own best asset, and we should be investing in ourselves and do that with joy and gladness. So it is never something to feel, oh gee, I I need to do this for myself so I can take this class. Oh boy. No, 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 no. It should be, I get to invest in myself today. And I am so excited because the return on investment is going to be tremendous.
Awesome, 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 awesome.
Ah, man, it's such a good.
I am my own best asset.
Yes, yes. My own best asset.
That's one new affirmation. I am my own best asset.
Yes. And worthy, worthy, worthy of investment.
Oh, there's one more contribution right here. Siri Granville, she said, rise above the challenge with a smile.
Mhm.
That's
Yeah.
another that's and I'm gonna steal that one from her. That's another affirmation. Rise above the challenge with a smile. Powerful, powerful. Over to you, Tanya. Sorry to interrupt you. Go ahead now. I'm just excited.
Oh no, that is quite all right. You know, I don't even know what to share. I'm so excited about all the different things that are engaged in this book. I and you can see I've got it all tagged up for my own. But one of the things that I did not gain in my upbringing is the dinner conversation about wealth, about financial literacy, about growing up, understanding the way the world works and what I can do within that. I didn't, I wasn't brought up with that. And so one of the reasons that we wrote this book is because we didn't have that understanding. And what I have learned is that half of Americans, half of the people in this country are not financially literate. Half of them need the understanding that is here so that they can recognize the value of themselves and then themselves in the world and how the world works financially so that they can take advantage of it. And I don't mean advantage in any kind of negative way. I mean so that you can play the game and have a chance to win. There's nothing like being in the middle of a football field, not having any clue what a daggone football is, and wondering why everybody's running every which way, right? So when you can gain the literacy, gain the knowledge and the understanding of what there is in the world to play with, then you can decide what game do I want to play, what fits into my value system, what fits into my goals, and then allow myself to play that role because that's what fits what I am trying to do. But if you don't even know what options are out there, you don't even know what to think. You don't even know what to try to strive for because you don't even know what's available to you. But there's so much available to you if you open your mindset to it and if you allow yourself to receive the goodness of people like you who are willing to share these podcasts with others so that they can learn and gain and grow. Ah, what a blessing that is. What a blessing that is.
I wanted
So,
to ask,
mhm,
no, sorry to interrupt you. Go ahead,
no,
continue.
no, please, please. Tell me
I,
what
wa- I wanted to ask you a question. Thinking of, I'm thinking from a child's perspective, because you alluded to there was not a dinner conversation with these topics. How would you help a young person, not teenager yet, or maybe 10, 8, 10, between 8 to 13? I, I am between 8 to 13. I get my little allowance, and I can't wait to get my allowance because I see in the window that lip gloss, or I see in the window that beret, or I see in the window that nice hairdo, that nice hairpiece, or that nice piece of garment that I want it. What would you, how would you steer that young girl or that young man between 10 to 13? How would you help me in putting aside a little bit of my little money that I get, that even if I see that one, two, three things I want, I can forego one and see if I can save something, because it's not a part, it wasn't a part of our growing up as parents. So I don't see mommy doing that. Not if I don't have a father at home, or whichever of the parent that I have at home, I don't see the parent that lives with me do that. How would you help them to work through that and change, the trajectory of their own life? Because we're all individuals, and though they're young, they can make choices, just as how they say, I want that. How can you help them, those little minds, shift that mindset?
it is a powerful thing when you can, it is wonderful when you can show them, but it's a whole nother, it is possible even without that show and tell, without that example. So it can be a conversation that says, wow, you'd like to get that beret. Great. How much does it cost? So, one, we're learning that there's value attached to things that we want and we need to exchange that value, right? So, great. It costs $5. All right. So, how much do you get in allowance? I get $1 every week. Okay. So, how many weeks would it take you to raise $5 for that beret? Let's see. One, two, I get one per week, one per week. It'll take me 5 weeks to get that beret. So, if you were to pay all of your money and save all of your money for that beret, it would take 5 weeks. But what if you also want to buy this or you also want to save that? What if we just save 10% of every allowance we get until we get enough for that bread. Then we still have money that we can apply to other things, but we still get the bread at the end. Wouldn't that be awesome?
Yes, yes.
And then when you see that change in your piggy bank and it grows every time you drop another dime in there, boom, every time you drop another dime in there, it gets bigger and bigger and it gets heavier and it shakes and it sounds so cool. That's when you can save all of these little dimes and eventually you'll be able to get that barrette. But you also have that those other dimes available for other things. And that's what's so beautiful. So oftentimes when we're talking about kids, it's just a matter of allowing them to be in a discussion about money. There's so many times we're just like, well, this doesn't involve you, or this is just we're just talking about money. You don't need to pay attention to this. Well, how am I going to learn to be an adult who spends money wisely if you don't talk to me about money? So allow your children to say, you know what? All right, how would we make this meal for $10? How would we be able to go to the store? What would each of these ingredients cost? Allow them to see that kind of stuff so that they can understand that there's dollars attached to certain things, that they need to exchange that and for value. And that also goes to the whole conversation later about work and what they do to earn money, which isn't the only way to make money. Um, as we grow and well, we start out earning money for most of our money, and then we start learning how, as we become entrepreneurs, for example, learn how to have other people help us to make money. But when we become those elite with our resources working for us, our money is making most of our money. We're not sitting up there spending most of our time earning that money. Our money is earning money. And if we don't teach our kids that money can make money, then they're going to feel like they have to make money all the time. They don't have to earn it all their life. They can earn their way up to having other people make money for them and then have money make money for them. But they need to see that. They need to hear that conversation. They need to be exposed to it. They need to have that literacy and understanding that they can say, I can invest and make money. I can get a passive income stream and make money. I can save in a high yield interest savings account and make some money. So there's more than one way to make money, but oftentimes we're so taught that, oh, you got to go to work and come home, and that's the only way you make money. It's not. But if you expose our children to these things, if they get the opportunity to see it, if they see examples in books, if they take little classes that they can learn how to earn money with dimes and nickels and so forth and so on when they're young, they'll grow to appreciate the value of money, and they'll grow to appreciate being able to grow it themselves and save it and invest it. That's beautiful.
Awesome, awesome. It reminds me of my youthful years. I grew up with my uncle, and I shared this before. But you brought about a different perspective, which as a parent, you can only give what you understand. And so I'm grateful for my uncle because he opened an account for me at Jamaica National when I was 11 years old. And I get my little allowance and I always save it. And of course, I wanted a little bit more because we were having something in school. And I went in it to take something, although I got the allowance to go where to go. And my uncle called me a thief. So I was taken from my own piggy bank. However, I should not have gone there because I got what I needed to go wherever I go. So when you share with, let's see, if you need that thing for $5, let's see how many weeks we you based on your allowance you can get that. Now that's a different perspective. You use scenarios, but my uncle, he only did it the way he could, but it brought fear in it, some amount of fear. So I did not go back in that piggy bank. And that piggy bank, once it was filled, we took it to the bank and we opened an account. And every year, that piggy bank, some of that money goes in the account in Jamaica National. To this day, I still have a little something in that account in Jamaica, managed by my uncle, because of his, you know, his astute financial literacy. Whether it's limited, but there was something there to let me know, don't eat everything, save
Right.
something for later. And yes, as that 8-year old to 13, I said, oh, thank you. Now I am 50. How old am I? 56.
No,
Oh,
yeah,
going on 57. Going
no.
on 57. And I am grateful for that, financial literacy that I got from my uncle. But now, uh, that could not be used for these kids now. What you're sharing with them, it's like kids are negotiators. You can't say leave it alone. They will say, but why? And
Right.
you need to give them reasons when you say certain things, or you have a discussion, and that's how we will get. So the 13-year-old Miriam would say, okay, I'll 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 save the 10% that I can get that thing in there. And then if I'm diligent, I know mommy or daddy will put a little something on it, because they see the effort that I make in saving that little something.
So then you're leveraging your money and you're applying other resources to it to elevate it higher and quicker. So good for you, 13-year-old Miriam. That
Thank
is so
you,
good.
teacher. I am so appreciative of this. And as we are heading down to the wire of 7 o'clock, what last statements can you share with us in wrapping up this awesome time together? I know you're coming back. I know you'll be back.
Thank you. Well, one thing I want to have others keep in mind is that there is an abundance in this universe. It is an abundant universe. Nobody's going to run out of something just because you received money or wealth or some financial benefit or whatever. There is more out there for others. So there's no reason for us to feel that we aren't worthy of all the money that's out there or all the wealth and riches that are out there. We can have both as long as we keep our heads on straight about it. But it's an abundant universe. Live abundantly. Live knowing, spend your money fiercely and wisely, knowing what it can do for you and knowing what enjoyment you can get out of it now. And don't clench your fist like this when you get it, because then you can't open your hand enough to get any more. You have to be able to receive and give, receive and give, so that that circulation of money continues. That's one thing that one person said. What was it? I think I have it up on my board that says, I circulate my money and it comes back to me multiplied in a never ending cycle of increase and enjoyment. Thank God. And that one was actually back in the old days, Reverend Ike. So, circulating money, circulating money. You don't grab it and hoard it, you share it with joy and abundance. One of the things that Ken Honda says, he is the Zen millionaire, the Japanese author. He says that you thank your money when it goes out and you thank it when it comes in. And it usually brings its friends when it comes back. So say arigato to your money going out, arigato to your money coming in, and it's going to bring more friends. It feels welcome. So,
On that note, when you say thank you, that's gratitude.
yes.
So, having gratitude, being grateful for what you're receiving and being grateful that you have to give. So, as you said, the Zen millionaire, thank your money when it's coming in and thank your money when it goes out because it brings its friends back to you.
Mhm.
What powerful note to end. And looking at how God, our Creator, the Lord Jesus Christ, He has provided everything for us before we were created. So everything in this world was already there before man was made. So we are abundant creatures. We were created to facilitate, we were created to take care of the works of God, and we were created to be the managers. We were created to be the stewards. And so we have at our disposal, remember, the wealth that begins from the mind, our creator. So we are creative beings. And so we will continue to invest in ourselves, invest in others, and operate in that area of gifting so we can complement each other and make this world a better place. Tanya Brockett, thank you so much for your contribution today. And viewers, remember that book, that it's it speaks to whether you're a 10-year-old or you're on the high echelon of society. This book can speak to you. Thank you so much. And viewers, I know you will let me know that you have been benefited from what was said. Thank you so much. Until next week, this is Miriam Edwards for another episode of Mindset Monday.